Hello, hello, my beautiful tribe. My name is Wanaki Halima, and we are here talking about dating as a spiritual woman, lunch edition. And of course, we have my special guest, Laquana, here. I'm going to introduce myself really quickly for anybody that's new and also for the tribe that is here. And then, Laquana, if you can please introduce yourself. Again, my name is Wanaki Halima. I am a certified full spectrum doula. I specialize in all things womb and vagina, and I'm also a mindfulness coach that helps women heal through shadow work and femininity. Laquana, if you can please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Laquana. I am currently a certified yoga instructor. You can follow me currently on IG at Mantra Yoga with Queen. That's at Mantra Yoga with Queen. I am also a certified at home travel agent, so I will have the ability to book any vacations you are interested in booking from 2023. So follow me on IG and you'll get further information.
And I do see that Miss Balance has entered the room as well. So let me allow her on as well. Hello, Miss Balance.
Can you
This
hear
is you
me?
guys' first time meeting. Yes, this is
Uh-oh.
yes, we can hear you. Okay, but I can't see your whole face. I can see from the nose down.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Why is it doing that?
Okay. Okay, good, because I was about to remove her until she could get it together. Okay, so moving forward, thank you for introducing yourself, Laquana. And I do hope that Balancing Codes does make it back. Because again, this is our lunchtime conversation, so it is short, just enough for us to have lunch with the tribe. So today I want to talk about a poll that I ran on Instagram. And the
I
poll
saw
that
it.
I
I saw
Oh,
it.
you saw it. Okay, so did you vote?
No, I didn't vote yet. This is my vote today, right
No.
now.
No, no.
This
Okay,
is
all
my
right,
vote
all
right
good.
now.
All right, this is your vote right now. Okay, so if you guys are eating, just so that you guys know, I'm eating some homemade split pea soup that my mama made, and it is delicious. So if you see me eating, I'm eating some homemade split pea soup, and it's really good. So don't judge. And I hope you guys are enjoying your lunch right now. So back to the poll. The poll that I did was, is your vibe 50-50? And the reason why I asked that is because right now it's going around this whole idea. And I think somebody that really brought it up was Glorilla. Um, was about dating, and she did a TikTok and she was talking about that dating is 50-50, and she decided to give her advice on dating. So I do want to play. Can you hear it? No, right? I do
No.
want to play the clip. Okay, good. I'm glad you didn't hear it because it sounded really crazy. So I do want to play the clip so that everybody can be on the same page as us. Oh, okay, Balance, I'm gonna let you on. I see that she's there. Give me 1 second, Miss Balance. Okay, Balance and codes. Okay, can you hear us now?
Hey, girl. I see
Hi.
you, but unfortunately, I
Hi.
really can't hear you. So I'm not sure why it's doing
Um.
that. But I'm going to watch from the sidelines and watch y'all get it in because I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. All good.
I don't know what you're saying, but it looked like you said cool. So, all right.
Okay. All right. So that's our girl Valence. I'm glad that she did come through, and I'm sure that she is gonna be on the sideline. But in the meantime, I'm gonna play the clip of our I don't want to say cousin because I don't want Glorilla to be my cousin.
Glorilla is your cousin, whether you want her to be your cousin or not. Because remember, Glorilla is she said she's from the hood. Come on now. Where she from? Baltimore? Where's she from?
I'm not from the hood though, Auntie.
Oh, you know what? What you know what? You're right. That's my cousin because I'm definitely from the hood, and she's relatable because, I just know different facets of life, and
I get
I've been
that.
around different people on different levels, and that has always been a level that I've been in. I didn't stay there, but I can relate to Global.
And I get that because I'm not from the hood, but I'm from hood adjacent.
Hmm.
So the hood might be like, you not from the hood, but like y'all right here. So like low key, you know what I'm saying? So I'm very much so hood adjacent. And I was definitely walking through the hood to get from the bus stop to my house. And so I'm hood adjacent. But if y'all come to see where I grew up at, y'all would be like, you not from the hood. But I'm hood adjacent. So I feel you. So she's like my neighbor. She ain't my cousin, but she's definitely my neighbor.
Got
Okay.
I got you. I got you.
Okay. So so that being said, let's play the clip of what my neighbor and your cousin is talking about.
Glow again. And morning inspo, I'm starting to do it a lot. I think it might is a topic that I'd never spoken on before that may ruffle a lot of feathers. And some people may want to fight about it. But it's the topic on the 50-50 with a relationship. Me personally, I feel like you supposed to go 50-50 with your nigga, because if a nigga just gets you to the point where like you just feel like you don't gotta do nothing, like he gonna make you lazy and shit. And as a woman, you should want to have your own shit going. You shouldn't want it to be where if a nigga leave you today, he was paying all the bills and now you got this big ass weight on your shoulders. You shouldn't want that. Like you should be able to like feel like, okay, if you leave, I'm good. If you stay, I'm good. Like either way, I'm good. Like, and you should want to be a team. Like the more money y'all make, the more shit get done. Like if he just buying, if he paying for everything, bitch, don't you want gifts sometimes? Don't you want the nigga to buy you some sometimes? Like, and don't you want to buy something from him? I just feel like it should be 50-50. Like it's a team effort, especially, and it goes to if you married too. Now I'm not speaking on. I don't know the experience if you have kids or not, because I don't know that yet. That there might be a different story, but just a relationship, like, you know, married or not, like we doing this shit together. You a person, I'm a person. We should be doing this shit together. You able, I'm able. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't want nobody to just take full responsibility for everything. Like you supposed to be able to stand your own, and like you supposed to be able to bring something to the table. Like I don't understand y'all with it now. A nigga gotta do everything. Like they just it's fucking your mind up. It's making you.
I had to pause it because I cannot agree with her. And the fact that she kept going on and on and on. And for me, I'm not a huge fan of hearing you call your man the N word over and over and over and over again. And that's something that I think that we need to pull away from because it does have negative connotation. And since it does come with negative connotation, I think that we should pull away from as a community calling our men the N word. So that's something that I'm trying to pull away from because it is something culturally acceptable that we do that we do just as something endearing. I did see that you did get disconnected, Laquana, but I was just pretty much saying that I had to stop it because it was too many N words for me. And it's something that I do believe that we need to be moving away from as a community, utilizing that as something endearing when the root of it is still something we haven't shooken yet. So I think for me personally, I don't want to keep having that on the show over and over and over again. Um, so what are your thoughts before I go in?
It was very choppy for me, so I was trying to gather as much as I possibly could from what she was saying that I actually could hear. It sounds like from her perspective, 50-50 is solely financial. And for me, I agree with the 50-50, but you know me, it's levels to it for me. It's always levels to everything for me because of how I think and how I project myself and how my perspective is on a lot of different things. But I kind of feel like it's 50-50 unless there is a mutual agreement. And I say that in the sense of cohabitation. Let's talk about cohabitation because usually when they're referring to um, when they're saying the man is paying all the bills, that part I heard, and you should be able to provide or pay half of the bills as well. Let's say for instance you're willing to do 50-50 financially, and your mate makes more money than you, and you're still well off, but convenient wise or savings wise, the agreement was that he would carry the bills and he would take care of all of those things. You still live together or you still have a shared responsibility, but at the end of the day we're still 50-50 because you may take on the role financially to carry the bills, but I might take on the roles of the housework. I still feel like that's 50-50 because we have the agreement about the finances, and now we have the agreement about the house chores or the specific chores. For me, that's still 50-50 because we have an agreement. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're only referring to finances. Let's talk about emotions. 50-50 emotionally. Some men are emotionally not available, but at the same time, they might be able to carry the financial responsibility. They might also be able to carry the house chores, but they might not be with you 50-50 emotionally. So when you say 50-50, that's what I mean with levels. It's levels to it with me because if I just feel like when people get in these relationships, they don't understand each other enough or sit down and have the conversations enough to know what it is and to know how they're moving forward to either a future or just a companionship or a relationship. I don't think that the time is invested to know and understand which direction they're actually going in to say, oh, 50-50, because you can buy me all the hair in the world. You can buy me all the the luxurious things in the world, and emotionally you're completely unavailable. That's still 50-50 or no? You see what I'm saying? So you know me and my perspective.
Um,
Why
I, I,
why
I'm
why you laughing?
no, because it's true. It's true. I just started laughing when you were like, "You could buy me all the hair," and I'm like, "You have locks." Like, who? Okay, so shout out. So that, yeah, you definitely Glorilla is definitely your cousin if you say you could buy me all the hair.
I'm saying like it's for me it's perspective wise because if you're in a relationship only to see what you can gain from the other person, then you're not in a relationship for a relationship. You're in a relationship to see what you can gain from your partner. So that's why I know that most of these people don't sit down and say, okay, this is what I expect from you. This is what you should expect from me. This is where we meet in the middle. This is our common ground. This is not our common ground. Not saying that life has to be scripted. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you need to have uncomfortable conversations to know to actually filter your relationship in the beginning and not soon as something pop off. Soon as
Oh,
I'm
and
mad
you
at you.
I definitely agree. I think that's really great advice because if your goal, first of all, you guys need to be on the same page as what your goal is. Because if one person is aiming for marriage and the other person just aiming for a situationship, you guys are clearly not on the same page. So,
Right.
people are at different stages in their life. So I definitely agree when there's levels to it. Because right now, I'm not on no 50-50, but maybe at some point I might have thought that that was okay. But where I am right now and moving forward, that is unacceptable because, like you were saying, there is levels to it. I can be given 85% of my emotions and my mind, my body, everything is dedicated to you 85%, but then you're on some 30% because you're entertaining other people, you have other things, other burdens that you have going on, you have other responsibilities, so you can't dedicate that to me. So I definitely see where you're going with that. And I do believe that we need to push more for people having those uncomfortable conversations because at the end of the day, for somebody like me, my goal is I'm dating for marriage. I'm dating for a family. I'm dating to build generations to come from my family. So that being said, I understand that there are going to be times where you're not going to be doing that 50, especially when there are certain responsibilities that are already instilled into our relationships. For
Right.
example, I have to carry the baby. My man cannot carry the baby. So I'm doing that 100%. Now he can be there for me, he can support me, he can do all the things, but he cannot give labor. He cannot go in that delivery. You know what I'm saying? Like he cannot do that. So that being said, and he's not going to go through postpartum the same way that I am as well. So those
Yes.
being said, there are points in your relationship where 50-50 is literally the blind leading the blind. I'm going to put this up here as well. Like, thank you for that balancing codes because it is the blind leading the blind when we, especially she's so young. I think she's in her early 20s and she has the mindset of what a lot of young girls have right now. And it's like you put this responsibility on your back that is irresponsible to even think. Like it's almost as if you're not self-aware because in any relationship there's no such thing as 50-50 at no point because there's so many levels to who a person is that when you put those two people together you're supposed to be making 100% together, which means that I got a 20 here, you got a 50 here, I got a 70, and we make each other whole. So I think that's really important what you were saying. And in addition, I do believe that you do need to start putting in things into place on who's accountable and who's responsible for what, because marriage is about a contract, right? So when you're dating somebody, you have to be aware of what are we exercising right now. We're still in practice to see whether we can do this for marriage. And if we can do this for marriage, is it going to be a successful marriage based upon what's happening right now? And just kind of calculating what makes sense. So, okay, she's 23. Yeah, she's 23. So she has no idea
Oh,
what's even going
she.
on.
But see, that's why it's on that. Another thing is it's all about perspective because from my perspective, I'm not gonna tell y'all my age. I want to tell y'all my fake age, but then y'all gonna be like, oh, what you talking about? So I'm not even gonna say that. But from my perspective, I am years older than her, and I would think that when I was her age, that would have been my perspective as
Mm.
well. Because she's a baby. Like how many serious relationships have you actually been in to know whether or not it should be 50-50? Were you, depending on your upbringing, were you already paying bills at 15? Were you
Okay.
already cohabitating with a man at 15? So what angle and what perspective at 23 are you saying, oh, I don't believe it's 50-50? Like, how many experiences have you had under your belt to say that's your perspective? Because if you're 23, you had to be serial dating from high school to have that strong perspective or that strong emotion about dating and being 50-50. Like, I don't get it. It's, I mean, but it's perspective. It's how you feel. Um, I just don't. It's age. Age.
Eh,
You gotta have a lot of
You know
history.
what? Let's not say it's age, it's wisdom. Because there's
Yeah.
plenty of people that we know that are older than us, you know what I'm saying, that are grandmama's age, and they're not on that. They still don't realize their value and how to manage a relationship and what that means in perspective to where you stand. They don't see
Right.
those levels to the relationship and even levels to the contract because people get offended highly offended when you say, "Oh, I don't do 50-50." People really genuinely get offended and they feel like, "Oh, you feel like you're too good and this and that." And it's not that. It's that I have a goal and my long-term goal is to stay self-aware and to be able to build generations for my family. And that means that I have to acknowledge that there is no such thing as 50-50 in any relationship. Not a mother daughter, cousin to cousin, friend to friend, you know, that siblings. There is no 50-50 because there's levels to everybody's relationship and how you entwine with each other. So
Yeah,
question, because we're getting closer towards the end, most people have a 30-minute lunch, and we're gonna stick to the 30-minute lunch schedule. So, question, as we're getting closer to the end, what advice do you give somebody who's listening who is starting to see that I entered this relationship and I was the one pushing for 50-50, and now I'm starting to see that that's not realistic? What advice would you have for them?
Um, the advice that I would give someone in that situation, I would tell them to reevaluate yourself first and foremost, and what you think you want and desire. That's the first step, and ensure that that's exactly what you want, a 50-50. Because sometimes through that experience you could have learned that no, I don't want the 50-50, or maybe it, but I also feel like you need to have that conversation with your partner as well. You need to sit them down, and have the conversations that are very super uncomfortable. I mean, you have to get to the meat and the potatoes, because if you allow life to just keep happening, then you're going to realize that you're going to continue in your own space as being uncomfortable in that moment, not knowing if it's 50-50, 70-30. So my advice will be to have the uncomfortable conversation so that you gain the information that you actually need to decide if you still want to be with that person or not.
So, because I think that was really great advice, how would that conversation look like though? Because we're saying to have the conversation, and so many women would be like, okay, I want to have that conversation, but I don't know how to. Or they wouldn't even say that, you know what I mean? Some women won't even go as far to say, but I don't know how to. They just say, I really should have that conversation, and they stop there.
Oh, I'm the queen of, trying to let people know. But no, I feel like you always have to put someone in a setting to where they're comfortable. So that's first and foremost. Take them somewhere. It could be a park, their favorite bar, their favorite restaurant, and make them comfortable. And also enter the conversation in a positive light. Be very direct and express your emotions, in the sense of not wanting to offend, but flat out say, we've been dating for such and such time. I personally do not feel like the relationship is 50-50, and that's where I thought we were going with this. Where are you? And how do you feel about where we are at right now? Do you feel like we're 50-50? And from that, you will open up a whole can of worms. You will see exactly how your partner is feeling. Now, if they're one who doesn't want to open up, you'll be able to, filter or decipher that. But I think that's putting them in a good setting and being very direct with your questions and knowing what it is that you want them to answer.
I think that's really great advice. And if you don't feel comfortable having that type of conversation with the person that you are calling your companion, your boyfriend, your man, whatever that person is to you, anytime that you're building a relationship with somebody, you should be able to be comfortable to have that conversation. So if you're not, you want to rethink the connection that you guys are evolving, because it's clearly not going to a place of respect and to a place of comfortability where you can be open and truly be yourself. So allow yourself to be self-aware in that moment. And if you need to step away, it's okay to step away. I think as women, we stronghold onto ideas, onto experiences, onto people, onto ideas. And sometimes they're not even tangible. And that's what makes us so essential to the community, because we are able to be that glue and keep things going. But we also have to know when to walk away, and when it's healthy for us to choose ourselves, because sometimes we have placeholders of men that we have no business even being with. And when we're able to see things for what they are, we don't even want to let go. So allow yourself to let go. It's okay. Sometimes you walk away and then maybe you guys will come back together. You know, there was that saying that when you let go, you get to know whether it's really yours because it comes back to you. So if you want to go that route, you should. You might end up with something better. You might end up with something that's more compatible for your goals long term when you let go. It's not always bad to let go. So I would say that, as well as I would also say know what you want and be willing to work towards that regardless of where you are right now. So if you are in a 5-year relationship and you're not seeing yourself going to marriage, let that go and stop having that placeholder so that you can evolve and grow, because sometimes your partner can stunt your growth and then you don't even get to achieve what you're looking for. Now, if you are in a healthy relationship and you're just coming to terms with your feelings, take the time to have that conversation with your partner, with your loved one, with your man, because they will be willing to listen if you guys are on the same page. And only good can come out of that. And apply that to all your relationships, not just your intimate ones, also your platonic ones as well. So, that is the advice that I would give to a woman on her spiritual journey that is trying to assess whether 50-50 is for her or not. And to just be honest with your partner. Hey, you make more money than me. Hey, I'm cleaning the house. Hey, I cook all the time and you cook really well. Can you cook 2 times a week and I cook 4 times a week?
That's
Whatever it
right.
is, have those conversations because you deserve to have what you want. And if you are with somebody that's compatible with you, and that does want to grow and flourish what you guys are building, then they will be able to do that with you because they are complementary for your goals and they will see that as attractive. And just have that faith in yourself and your journey. So, Laquana, what are your last remarks so that we can start closing out?
My last remark would be on your spiritual journey, make sure you always, always, always make time and take time for yourself. And I will be giving you a lot of tips and tricks through at Mantra Yoga with Queen on how to do so daily. But just love on yourself. Love on yourself so that you have the strength, the guidance to actually love on someone else. And it can be 50-50 or not. Just make sure that where you're at is where you really want to be.
I agree with that. Make sure that where you really are at is where you really want to be. I think that's really important for us to constantly be self aware enough to practice discernment, to walk away when we need to walk away, and to push harder when it's complementary to your goals. So, my beautiful, beautiful tribe, be sure. Yeah, make time to make time. Thank you for that balance and codes. Make time to make time. Absolutely. So I do want to thank everybody who took the time to have lunch with us. Be sure to follow myself at Wannabe Halima and to follow at Mantra Yoga with Queen, and also follow our girl at Balance and Codes. All three of us are coaches. For myself, as you know, I am a full spectrum doula and I am also a mindfulness coach. And at Mantra Yoga with Queen, she does many, many things, including the mantra yoga. So you do want to check her out as well. And keep an eye out. Make sure you hit that bell so you can have the notifications when we are going live. And I'm sure Mantra Yoga with Queen will be popping up as well. And you want to be a part of that as
Yes,
we evolve and grow. So, my beautiful, beautiful tribe, thank you again for tuning in and keep an eye out for more. Ashe.
Ashe.